Hey there, it's Coach Sheree. Hey, have you seen the no hands test to predict longevity, where we get up off the floor with our legs crossed? Now that is total rubbish, and it really annoys me as a trainer because it shames more people than it serves. Better to ask yourself, how do I get up off the floor? Do I get safely off the floor? Are my knees okay as I get up off the floor? And if I can't do it well, working on it to get up in a good way. But this unnatural positioning creates torque on the knees. It creates force on the knees that causes those knees often to become worse than what they were when you're trying to get up in a normal way. I like to look at young children and see how they get up. They'll often get up in a squat or a lunge position, but rarely do I see young children get up with that cross-legged position. Hey, and if you've always been doing it, then keep doing it, that's fine. But for many of us, it just doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to take you into a few ways, and if you want to challenge, a great way to get up without using knees or hands if you choose to do that. So let's have a look and see what we can do. So the main ways that we do get up off the floor, for most people, we'll get up off the floor, we'll actually take our leg out to the front, you'll be in that lunge position. You can even push your hands into that leg and pushing up onto that leg until we're up. That is a common way to get up, but quite a few people as they get older, I find that also having to put weight on one leg can be a real problem for them, particularly if you don't have good knees. So the other way to do it is to take ourselves from the floor, take ourselves over onto our knees, bottom up, and then we simply bend those legs as we walk our hands back up and stand all the way up. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail of those, and then at the end I'm going to have a challenge for those of you whose body already works really well. You've got the good back that doesn't mind a bit of a roll, and we're going to do a challenge using no hands, no knees, but not with the cross-legged position. So let's have a look first of all at being able to get up in our lunge position. If you're finding it a bit hard to get down the floor, you may want your chair nice and handy. And then really for this lunge position, it's just from our back, we're just going to come on to our front. Now for some people, they don't have a lot of strength in their core to be able to get themselves over. So this could be something that you could be doing on the floor just to get used to that, coming from side to side, and just get used to taking yourself side to side. Then from here, you're going to come up onto your knees, and then when you get that leg out, we're going to simply be putting our weight into that leg. You may find if you don't have a chair to help you up with, you can have a chair there, which helps you to get up. You can lean into that and standing up. But the other thing you can do, and I'm always trying to get people to learn how to get up and how to move without having a bit of furniture, it could be that you need to get up and you've been on a walk on the mountain or somewhere outdoors, you don't have a piece of furniture there. So being able to use this front leg is really good. The back toes curl under, and from here, we're going to do a little bit of a lean forward and then pushing up. If you need to, pushing up through that leg, or simply this front leg needs to be strong enough to push you up. Now for those people that struggle with that, this seems to have been a really easy, much easier way of doing things. So if we're coming down to the floor, imagine you're on the floor, we're going to come over onto our knees, and from here we curl those toes under. And from here, we're going to push up through those feet, and our hips come straight up into the air. So from here, bringing ourselves up with our bottom is right up. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can either walk these hands in, and I'm bending my knees as I do it and coming all the way up. Or from here, you can just walk those feet in and coming up. So your choice. It seems to be for people that I see that haven't gotten up off the floor for many years sometimes, the walking back seems to really work for them, and most people can do it. So from there, going over that again, it would just be coming over onto your front. From here, your hands are on the floor. If your hands don't like that wrist motion, you can start to learn to take those hands into a fist. Knees kind of not too far back. It's going to be harder to lift yourself from way back here. So knees are quite close. Curl the toes under. From here, we take ourselves just straight up into the air. We can bend those legs as we walk ourselves back. Now we're going to break that down a bit, so if you want to take that into various bits and be able to get up the floor, we will, but stay tuned for our challenge at the end. Lovely. So for some of you, being able to get down to the floor can be hard, so you can pile these books up and let yourself down onto the floor. Now what you can be doing there is just to play around with that a bit. You may just come up off the floor, come down to the floor, come up to the floor, come down. So this can be a great way just to practice, just to get in some strengthening. And I'll tell you, it's working my core, it's working my arms. To be able to get up off the floor, you certainly need a strong core. So this can be step number 1. Step number 2, I'm now on the floor and I'm simply going to be taking my knees side to side, because we do need to be able to get ourselves over on our knees. So just taking those knees side to side for the next one. Taking them side to side. Great, just to get your body used to that, and I can feel my core working here, my abdominals working, just to get yourself familiar with that weight shift from one bottom cheek to the other bottom cheek and taking myself side to side. Now from here you will come back onto those knees. So you could be coming from your bottom over onto your knees, bottom over onto your knees. So all of this movement can be taken down to smaller chunks of movement. And then of course from here, if you find that too hard with your hands on the floor, hands on the book and going back into that up position. And we've already looked at that before, going down and up, and then walking yourself in. You can walk yourself back if you want to stay here for a bit, walk yourself in, and then from here, coming all the way up. Now for those that don't have good knees, I often will have people saying, my knees are not good. How do I make this challenge work for me? Well, you are certainly not going to be doing this cross-legged position and trying to come up from there. Definitely not. Don't even think about it. Your knees will not like that position at all. So with somebody with not good knees, it will be much the same, but at the end, so rather than coming from here, or from your chair, or going down to the floor and coming down, rather than going down onto your knees, you can either go down onto your knees with a soft pillow, or you can come down to your knees, and it's a bit of a twist. So by the time we're coming down, we're sitting on our butt cheek. So from here, we're going to learn to be able to twist. So there's a fair bit of work goes on into those hands to do that. If I didn't have my books, this is what it would look like. So from here, I'm down here, I come down towards the floor, but just at the last moment, you can put your side of your calf down to the floor if you did want. So twisting around and coming down. So I'm sitting sideways as I come down. And from there, we can do the same thing as we come back up. So from here, we're going to come over onto the front, but it's a bit of a twisting way to do it so that those knees don't touch the floor. So then it's just trying to get into that thing, one arm, you know, being able to come over and then walking ourselves back the same way. Let's have more of a look at that. So let's look at some ways to strengthen yourself. If you can't get down to the floor yet, then simply doing the sit stand. If you can, a one-legged, because there are times we're going to need one leg to work for us. If you're really unstable on this leg and you can't push up with just the one leg, then put a heel down or a toe down, but still pushing up through the heel of this leg that's on the floor. We're obviously going to change over to the other side, and you may have more of an unstable leg. This is my more unstable leg, and I know I've got to work a lot harder at squeezing your glute also as you drive up through that leg. The other thing we can be doing here is just taking our body side to side. You can do a slight lean back. You can have a weight in those hands if you did want to. So just working those abdominals and core to get ready to get up off the floor, but also being able to strengthen these arms. So being able to come over our chair and being able to hold. So I've got my body straight in a plank and I'm leaning. I've got my hands underneath my elbows and shoulders stacked underneath, and I've got my core on and I'm just holding here. You can hold there for maybe 20 to 30 seconds if you can, but whatever time you can do. And your main thing when you're holding straight over a chair is just not to lock in these joints, so just a slight bend in those joints, particularly if you're hypermobile. We're going down to the floor now and see how we can train ourselves on the floor. So we've gotten on the floor here. We're simply going to be taking our legs side to side, and then from here we can actually go up onto one hand, up onto one hand. You can be going up onto one leg. So we can either take this leg out a bit further, coming back over, coming up. There's a few ways to do this, so whatever feels comfortable for you. You can even take a weight in this hand and do a bit of a lift. We'll then go to the other side, reaching over, coming back, reaching over, coming back, and then coming up onto that knee and reaching up. Great. So it's going to get some mobility and some strengthening happening to you. One of my favorite stretches for hips is the 90-90 mobility stretch. So having one leg out at a 90-degree angle, the other as well, and we can actually take these side to side. So sometimes you'll feel tightness somewhere in the hips there. So this is a great way to actually get both sides with some flexibility, being able to get you all ready to get up off the floor. So taking those knees side to side. Great. And then when you can be taking these knees. Now, you may want a hand behind you first of all, but coming right up onto those knees. And right up onto those knees. So here, see if you can come up with no hands. So that's a bit of a challenge for some of you with no hands. Maybe that you can do one side with no hands and not the other side. So just continuing to work on that side where you do still need a hand. Your aim is just to work on that. And it's fine if you needed to do this for a while. Now, it may be that you come up from here and then onto your knees, a lunge, or you come up onto here, no hands yet, but we will put our hands down, curl those toes under, and walk yourself all the way back. Now, I'm going to finish this session off with a challenge for some of those who know you can get down to the floor and up off the floor, but still want to do the no hands challenge, but don't want to do the cross-legged position. This is a way to do it. Let's have a look. So this is called a rock and roll challenge. I think far better than coming up in that position is that we're just here. We're going to start off. I've got my weight here because I find having a weight in my hands helps me to get up. So we're just going to rock back. You're not going to be doing this if you don't have a good back, or if your back is kind of flat in a section of your spine where you can't actually rock back. You can't kind of come up from there. So it won't be for everyone. Just if you're okay with this, then it's something we can do. Now, if you find it too hard to get from the floor up to here, you can certainly put your hands behind your legs to help you up. This can be stage one. You find it hard to get up, put your hands behind your legs, and as you rock forward, those legs will help to pull you up. The next way of doing it is no hands. So we're just lying forward, and this will work your abdominals. No end, by the way. That's pretty cool. Just bringing yourself up. Now, if that's easy enough to do, you can then grab, well, for me, I find it much easier to get up when I've got a weight. So from here, I like to do a rock back, and then from here, coming forward, and up I go. Now, I like my legs kind of wide as I come up, and that helps me to get up. So let's have a try again. So this is your challenge, if you can already do, and this is how I end up with my legs out about here, and then I stand all the way up. So So how'd you go with the rock and roll challenge? There you go. No hands, no knees, perfect. Not going to be for everyone, but if you did it, well done. If you got partway there, keep working on it, and always make sure you don't have pain while you're doing something. Otherwise, cross it off the list. Thank you for trying my challenge today. See you next time.